So, things are just not looking well for this company at all. At all. It's just one thing after another. And you'll never believe why these people are actually striking. It's now it says up here about forcing them to return to the office, which they should. I'm assuming this all started with the pandemic and 6 feet apart and we have to shut everything down. You can work from home. Oh, you can work from home. But it's not 2021 anymore or 2020 or whatever it started. Um, so you can get your asses back to the office, and it's not even that bad. So blah, blah, work from home. Back in September, do you remember the French video game union? Not even gonna bother pronouncing it. Called for Ubisoft employees to strike on October 15th, 16th, and 17th after the company demanded. Here we go. Demanded employees begin working in the company's offices for 3 days per week. They were just asking them to go to the office 3 days a week. Not every day, 3 days a week. I'm sure there's reasons, for, the building and stuff like that to go back 3 days a week. And they're like, no, you can't make us go back to work for 3 days a week. We are going to catch the COVID again. My little lungs cannot handle that again. Dude, it's 3 days a week. Get your fucking ass back to the office. Just go. Just wear your stupid little mask. Go back to the office. It's 3 days a week. 3 freaking days a week. Most people would love to have a job that's only asking them to come in for 3 days a week. Other than that, you're able to stay home. You can sit there in your house, on your computer, doing your work. Must be nice. Must be nice. They're only asking you for 3 days. Get over it. The union also shared it believes Ubisoft made this move given it knows the consequences of decisions will be the loss of our colleagues' jobs, this organization of many game projects, and the drastic increase of psychosocial risks of those who remain. There's a really easy French joke I could say right now, but I'm not going to. I already did my poor little French lungs bit earlier, so I'm just gonna retreat with this. I'm just gonna retreat. Uh, you know, I'm just gonna not say it. But we do not want to return to the office. They're trying to ruin our jobs. Furthermore, noted this decision was announced immediately after the failure of the profit sharing negotiations. Exactly like previous salary negotiations, management's proposals were unacceptable. Oh, I just hear the way unacceptable. It's just a certain way I'm hearing that in my head, and I'm sure anyone, man of culture, knows exactly how I'm hearing unacceptable. The negotiations timetable was appalling, and management was deaf to the proposals of the various employee representatives. Given the union stated to express our anger, we call soft employees in France to a first strike on October 15th, 16th, and 17th. So it should be, yeah, it's been over for like 2 days. It also shared its demands. First, I want to support Puppy. First, it wants a formal agreement on remote work with a due process of real negotiation between management and unions. Not an arbitrary decision taken several months in advance. One which guarantees And each person can freely choose its number of remote days when they are in the week, and when they are in the week, and as well as being counted by the month and not by the week. Why are they so intent on just working at home? When you were hired originally, you weren't working from home. You were in the office. So now what's the big deal? You just go back to doing what you were doing before. Second, the union demands an immediate increase in all salary. They can't do that. The company's not making enough to pay you more. In all salaries to compensate for the drop in our living standards in recent years, the restoration of profit sharing at a 60% objective, the end of the gender pay. You can really tell these people are French. Really tell they're French. And higher increase to low salaries. And finally, Ubisoft to listen to employees' opinions by the implementation of a social dialogue worthy of its name. Management seems indeed to confuse monologue with dialogue. Reportedly, around 700 employees did go on strike in France, according to Le Monde. The outlet noted AFP saw around 50 people on a picket line, 100 in Paris, 700 were taking part. One employee informed the outlet, "How long will it be before they start laying off workers and downgrading their ambitions?" She also described the atmosphere as gloomy. X Defiant, isn't that new game that I think I watched with a bunch of basically like Antifa style people running around who hate capitalism and trying to tear down the system, man. Although the game itself is a product of capitalism. A number of employees spoke with the French news outlet, don't really care, not going to bother. According to the union, the strike has spread, just like the pandemic, has spread outside of France and into Italy as well. It posted on X, "Today, workers at Ubisoft Milan are also on strike against the return to 3 days a week in office." It added full support to them and to not even gonna bother. The strike comes amid Ubisoft finding itself in dire financial straits. Back in September, the company significantly lowered its Q2 net bookings from 500 million to between 300. I think we've talked about this before. I mean, we talk about this company almost every week, it seems. So I think I might have said all this stuff at one point or another. Yeah, I think I remember this. The company also finds itself accused by Slovakian investment firm AJ Investment of intentionally manipulating stock price, to get better value for, yeah, lower valuation, eventually take full control of the company, heavily discounted value. Yeah. Beyond good and evil. Evil. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I want it to be a legitimate offer, and you have to take the offer, otherwise, blah blah blah." Yeah, talking about Yasuke again. Talking about that. Allegedly. Talking about Yasuke some more. Yeah, so I think the actual thing stops there. Now it's just kind of talking about the other games and all that. The Prince of Persia. Wait, what? Wait. So the strike's spreading to Italy. Again, I assume this started a couple years ago when the pandemic was around and everyone was on lockdown. The pandemic is no, clearly, you clearly don't care because none of you are wearing the face diapers. So I guess you just got all too comfortable working from your homes. But when you were hired, I guarantee every one of you were hired at a time when you still had to come into the office every day. Now they're just asking you to come back to the office 3 days a week. 3 days a week. What's the problem here? And then they mentioned a gender pay gap. These people obviously don't understand how pay works. You know, it's like, oh, everyone should be paid equal. It's like they're paid for the job that they do. It's like you're not going to pay just a new hire the same as like a CEO. It's not going to happen. So, are these women doing jobs that are worth the pay? Or it's like when you see in movies, like, oh my God, I'm this person from this movie, and Chris Pratt was made a lot more than me. It's like, yeah, because he's like the main character in the movie, and he's the draw, and no one knows who you are. No one knows who you are. Chris Pratt. People think Chris Pratt. Oh my God, I'm gonna go see that movie. Of course, he's gonna get paid more because people know who he is. He's what's drawing them in. A side character is not going to be the draw for the movie. Um, and people never take into account the fact that women take days off when they're pregnant. So naturally, you're not at work, so you're not getting paid. So naturally, you're getting paid less. Common sense, people. And then it goes to the whole, well, if, companies are legally able to do that, why not just hire all women? If you're legally able to just pay them less. But no one can ever answer that because it's not actually happening. There's factors that go into this that they're not taking into account. Men are generally more inclined to work more hours. Women are the ones who have pregnant leave, which means they're not going to get paid, which means they're going to make less. So, but yeah, talking about that, and fact is, what else? Trying to get their salaries raised. You do realize what company you're working for, right? They can't afford to raise anyone's pay. They can't. This company is pretty bad right now. Pretty bad. They don't have the monetary ability to raise your salaries. It's been one failure after another. They don't have the ability to do it. So you could say that, yeah, they're trying to weed out people, trying to get people to quit, because that would mean, less money having to be spent on paying employees. Or then they could pay the employees a little more, because there'd be less people there. So instead of paying 700 people a salary, it could be only 550 or something, which is a huge increase to pay, I think. Not like huge as in like, oh my God, we're freaking rich. I can just quit this job and go buy a mansion and live happily ever. No, it's not gonna be like that. But they do realize they're working for a company that's been producing crap after crap, failure after failure, and they're not making a whole lot. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of, oh, hey, let's just do this to weed the bad people out. Let's weed out the bad actors. Let's see who's really loyal to us, or or we can find out who the the insincere, lazy ones are, the ones who just want to stay home and work all day. I mean, because we're not asking you guys to come in every day. It's just 3 days a week. There's 7 days in a week. We're only asking you to come in for 3 of them. Shouldn't be a big ask. Shouldn't be a tough thing to do. What? You want to come?
You want us to come in for 3 days a week? That is asking for too much.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It's not asking for too much. You were all hired when you were having to come in every day. Just start doing that again, except 3 days a week. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised these freaking people think they're above everything else and that they don't need to go back to work, in the office for only 3 days. I'm not surprised. It is how unions are. And I get that not everyone in a union is like that, but it's like basically if you join a union and you disagree with what they say or you don't do what they're doing, yeah, then you're suddenly blacklisted. So it's like, oh, either stick with your brothers and sisters in the union or you suffer consequences. And most times, you're in these unions and you're like, oh, negotiations and we demand this, and the company's like, oh yeah, sure, but then you never actually really get it. It's like a watered down version of what you were asking for. So unions don't really have much of a purpose in today's day and age. They just don't. They just don't. Um, but anyway, one thing after another with this company. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.